welcome to another deep dive. You guys ready to uncover some fascinating history?
Always.
Awesome. Today, we're going to be jumping into the wild world of February 27th.
Sounds fun.
You know, it's amazing how much history is packed into a single date.
Yeah, it really is.
We've got everything from pivotal moments in U.S. history to some seriously quirky birthdays.
I love the quirky one.
Oh, we'll get to those. But first, buckle up, because we're going way back to 1801.
Ooh, okay.
That's when Washington, D.C. officially became the nation's capital under Congress's jurisdiction.
I always forget that D.C. wasn't always the capital.
Right. Like imagine all the political battles that went down to choose it.
Oh, I bet there were some serious arguments.
Totally. The North and the South both wanted the capital in their territory.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was a huge decision with all the power and money involved.
Exactly. So they finally settled on this spot on the Potomac River, right between Maryland and Virginia.
Oh, smart. A compromise location.
Yep. It was like saying, hey, let's build our nation's capital on neutral ground, to symbolize unity and all that.
It definitely sent a message.
Fast forward just 12 years to 1813, and Congress faced a new challenge.
What was it this time?
Mail delivery.
Mail delivery.
Yeah, they wanted to speed it up, make it faster, more efficient. So they authorized the use of steamboats for mail transport.
Interesting.
Sounds like a good idea, right?
Yeah.
But it was a little too good. The steamboats were so fast that the mail started arriving before they even knew what to do with it.
Seriously, they messed up the whole system because they were too efficient.
Basically. Imagine building a highway with no exits. The speed is great until you realize you can't get off.
I can see how that would be a problem.
Now let's talk about New Orleans in 1827, where the first ever Mardi Gras celebration took place. Can you imagine Mardi Gras without those colorful beads?
Oh, that's tough.
Well, get this. They almost had to go without them.
Really?
Yep, the organizers totally underestimated the demand for beads and ran out.
Oh, no.
It makes you wonder what they used instead. Did they scramble to find substitutes, or did that first Mardi Gras feel a little incomplete?
Who knows? Maybe that's how the tradition of throwing anything and everything started.
Oh, I like that theory. From beads to cigars, let's jump to 1883, when the first cigar rolling machine was patented.
Big shift for the tobacco industry, huh?
Huge. It took cigar production from skilled hand rolling to a mechanized process.
So cigars went from luxury items to something more everyday people could afford.
Yeah, basically. It's interesting to think about how technology, even back then, could reshape entire industries.
It's wild how some things never change.
Okay, brace yourself for this next one. February 27th, 1890 marked an insane boxing match.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Danny Needham and Patsy Kerrigan went head-to-head for a grueling 100 rounds.
Wait, what? 100 rounds?
You heard that right. Can you imagine? That's longer than some TV series.
That's incredible and kind of terrifying. I mean, talk about endurance, but what about safety back then?
Yeah, that's a good point. It makes you appreciate how much boxing has evolved with safety regulations and everything.
Makes you wonder how they even survived that fight.
Totally. Now let's fast forward to the 20th century. On February 27th, 1922, a publishing giant was born, Reader's Digest.
Ah, Reader's Digest. I remember my grandparents used to have those lying around.
It was like the go-to for busy people who wanted to get the gist of things quickly.
Yeah, those condensed articles were perfect for that.
But, some folks criticize Reader's Digest for, oversimplifying things.
Sure, but they also helped expand people's vocabulary. Word power, remember that?
Yeah, word power. It's funny how a little magazine could have such an impact.
It's a reminder that even small things can have a big cultural influence.
Now, for a more serious turn, in 1939, the U.S. Supreme Court made a pretty controversial ruling.
Okay, what happened?
They declared sit-down strikes illegal.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it basically criminalized a form of protest that workers had been using to demand better conditions.
So it became a lot riskier for workers to fight for their rights.
Exactly. And this ruling really sparked a debate about labor rights and the limits of protest.
It's a reminder that the fight for workers' rights is a long and complicated journey.
Absolutely. But on a brighter note, February 27th, 1945, saw the end of a major labor dispute.
Which one?
The Ford Motor Company strike. Workers walked away with an 18-cent hourly raise.
In 1945, that was probably a big deal.
It definitely was.
It's a reminder that collective action can actually make a difference.
Okay, last stop on our historical tour takes us to Ireland in 1997. After 76 years of debate and legal battles, guess what finally became legal?
Let me guess. Divorce.
You got it.
Yeah.
It was a monumental moment that reflected a huge shift in social attitudes.
It's incredible to think about how much things have changed, even just in the last few decades.
Seriously. All right, so we've delved into some pretty heavy history, but February 27th also has a lighter side.
Oh, like what?
Well, it's National Retro Day, for starters.
Cool.
And get this, it's also National Kahlua Day.
I did not know that.
I always love those quirky national days. They're a fun way to appreciate the little things.
Yeah, totally. I'm all about celebrating the simple stuff.
Speaking of celebrations, let's talk birthdays.
All right, who's got a birthday today?
Well, first up is a reality TV icon, JWoww from Jersey Shore. She's turning 39 today.
Wow, Jersey Shore. Talk about a blast from the past.
I know, right? Remember when that show first came out? Everyone was obsessed.
Oh, totally. It was like a cultural phenomenon.
Okay, next up is Chelsea Clinton. She's turning 45 today.
Chelsea Clinton. Wow, I feel old.
It's hard to believe how much time has flown by.
It really is. She's done a lot beyond just being, a famous daughter.
Right. She's become a big advocate for public health and children's rights.
She's definitely using her platform to make a difference.
Now, let's shift gears to sports. Former NBA star James Worthy is celebrating his 64th birthday today.
Big game, James. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Right. He was a key player on those amazing Lakers teams back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, those Showtime Lakers. They were legendary.
And last but not least, we can't forget consumer advocate Ralph Nader. He's turning a remarkable 91 today.
Wow, 91. He's been fighting for consumer rights for decades.
I know, right? Especially when it comes to car safety.
Yeah, he's had a huge impact on making our cars safer.
Okay, are you up for a little brain workout?
Brain workout.
It's no-brainer day, after all.
Yeah, of course. All right, bring on the no-brainer question.
All right, first one. What do you do with a pencil sharpener?
Sharpen pencils.
Exactly. Simple, right?
Yep. But I guess it makes you appreciate those basic tools we use every day.
Good point. Okay, next question. What caffeinated morning beverage is typically drunk out of a coffee cup?
Coffee. Is that too obvious?
Nope, that's the one.
Okay, good. Although, these days people drink all sorts of crazy caffeinated drinks.
True. The world of caffeine has definitely expanded. All right, what musical instrument is typically played with drumsticks?
Ooh. Well, drums, of course. But I guess you could also say, like, a xylophone.
You're on a roll. Last one, what does a water heater do?
Eats water.
Bingo. See, these no-brainers aren't so bad, are they?
Nope. Kind of fun, actually.
And before we move on, a quick shout out for Polar Bear Day.
Oh, right. Polar Bear Day.
Did you know that polar bears are actually pretty solitary creatures?
Really?
Yeah, they're not really into,
Ah, got it. Guess those harsh Arctic conditions make romance a little less important.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Survival comes first, right? Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. From Washington, D.C. to New Orleans, from boxing rings to courtrooms, we've seen February 27th through the lens of history.
It's amazing to think about all those events, big and small, all happening on the same day.
It really makes you realize that history isn't just about dates and names in a textbook.
Yeah, it's about real people and real events that have shaped our world in ways we can't even imagine.
Exactly. Like, who would have thought that the first Mardi Gras almost had to go on without beads?
Or that a 100-round boxing match was even possible.
And don't forget about the steamboats delivering mail too quickly.
That's a good one. It just goes to show that even the best intentions can have unexpected consequences.
So true. But it also shows that we're constantly evolving, learning from our mistakes, and finding new ways to do things.
I think that's what makes history so fascinating. It's a constant reminder that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
And that even the smallest actions can have ripple effects that we might never fully grasp.
Exactly. Like, imagine someone doing a deep dive on this very day, years from now. What will they discover about us?
It's a pretty humbling thought, right? So as we wrap up our deep dive into February 27th, we hope you've gained a new appreciation for this date and all the amazing stories it holds.
And maybe even a little inspiration to go out and make some history yourselves.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep those brains engaged.